I was muted the entire time. Good morning. Welcome back to Coffee with Coach Chambo. Day one of OU and Texas in the SEC. That's a big one today, right? Got to mute myself in my own stuff, apparently. What a day. July 1st, 2024. It's a vacation week. It's dead week for most of us in our programs. And so I just want to talk a little bit of football. First, I kind of want to talk. You all know we have a homestead. You don't all know. Some of you know. We have a homestead. And so we raise goats, chickens. Here's what they don't tell you about chickens. Chickens want to live as close to the front of your house as possible, and they poo on everything. They don't tell you that. I don't know if people normally keep their chickens in like runs all the time, but we're not about that life. We want them running around eating all the bugs, especially with dogs and goats. There's a lot of parasites out there, ticks, fleas, mosquitoes. These chickens are taking care of a lot of that stuff. They're cleaning up the garden now. The garden's super, going full-fledged now. It's amazing. But chickens are the answer. However, be careful, because once you get chickens, you got to have everything else, right? Now we're in the looks for an MU. We want cows. Chickens, they call them the gateway animal, and I 100% think it's true. So, yes, get you some chickens, but then make sure you got some land so you can do some other things. Life on the homestead's a little crazy. We got to treat some of our baby goats. We had goats, I think they're 4 months old. Does that make sense? Yeah, that March or April, May, June, July. So 3 to 4 months old our babies are. And we got to start treating them for some, they got the runs too. Weird episode here. All of a sudden we're talking about poop a lot. That's not where I'm trying to go with it. So, yeah. Enough about the homestead. Get chickens, get goats, grow a giant garden. I have eaten no store-bought eggs, and I think we're at like a year now without buying eggs. And that's with 4 hens. I get 4 eggs a day. And it's enough to sustain our family. If we could get our own milk, Brahms has great milk. Shout out to Brahms for having the best milk. But if we could get our own milk somehow, I think we'd have it made. All right, away from the homestead now, let's talk some football. So all of you know, because I'm sure that you actually do all know this time, that I am a huge Joe Daniel football guy, right? That's where I learned football in the beginning. That's where I learned defense. That's where I learned linebacker reads. And that's what we're going to talk today is about linebacker reads. There's a little confusion in the football community about who to read. And we get people say they're guards only. We hear people say, oh, we only read the backfield. But I think the truth is everyone reads all of it. We just may not acknowledge that, or maybe we don't even realize it. But, here we obviously are guards first, then backfield. We will teach a super advanced player how to kind of triangle read. I'll have them, read guard, tackle, backfield. But we're just trying to catch flow at that point. That's when you have one of those ridiculously athletic kids that's super smart and doesn't need you to spoon feed him how to play football. You just kind of let him roll. But, yeah, want to talk a little linebacker read. So I'm going to pull up some film, and because it's OU Texas to the SEC day, I'm going to borrow some film from, it looks like this is ESPN on ABC. Listen, if you're one of those execs at those places and you're seeing this, please don't take my stuff down just because I'm borrowing this film, okay? I'm a huge Sooners fan. I want to just talk linebacker reads. I'm making no money off of this. This is all educational purposes. I do not own rights to this film. So let's go talk about it. Let me make things right here, possibly. Game on, Holmes. All right, so luckily, ESPN on ABC was kind enough to give us 2 angles for all this. So we're going to see this kind of tight view, and then you might call this wide. I don't know. Every player's in there, so I guess it's technically wide. And then they're going to give us the kind of floating camera there that would be our goal line look. Coffee break. All right. So let's talk ball. Yes, I'm in huddle. All of my stuff is working. So this is the goal line stand. Kind of, obviously the Sooners win by 4 in this game, 34-30. Last second touchdown. After Texas had gone down and 34-30. Texas had gone down and broke the tie, took the lead with a minute and 3 seconds left or something. Dylan Gabriel goes the distance of the field to like Drake Stoops and baby brother Anderson in the corner, the end zone, win the game. We were in the stands, so it was really neat for us to get to be there. They throw the touchdown right in front of us, right at our feet. Amazing environment. Best rivalry in the game. Okay, I've never been to the Iron Bowl, the Egg Bowl, whatever else is out there. The Game, is that what y'all calling the one at Ohio State and Michigan? Whatever. Don't care. This is by far the greatest environment that you'll ever step foot in when you're talking football games. But let's talk some linebacker reads here. Get a little shift here. We're going heavy. Kip Lewis comes through and makes the tackle. Now, I inadvertently, while walking through this, found some weaknesses in poor Jaren's gameplay. I believe Kinnick is how you say his name. Highly touted, switched over from Clemson, right? He didn't transfer. He just switched his commitment, as far as I remember. This has been 2 years ago now, I think. Kip outplayed him quite a bit, and this film might show why. Anyway, let's look at what we get. Okay, so downhill play. Okay, we get a base out, base. Everyone's playing base. In the Joe Daniel football system, we're going to teach you if he pulls, follow. If he doesn't, fill. If he pulls, follow. If he doesn't, fill. This guy does not pull, so we're going to fill. Jaren Kinnick should be fitting the inside half of the gap. We talk about that all the time. Own the inside half of the gap. Make the ball bounce. Okay? And then our force player should be coming fit. He's kind of actually playing alley here. Force would be one of these outside dudes. So he gets to fit the alley from a linebacker position because we don't have any safeties. And he gets to fit it really, really fast. Force ends up just being the rest of this conglomerate on the outside. Okay? Huddle has gotten rid of the I want to go down and delete everything at once. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I don't know. Anyway. Okay? So let's see it again from the start. The only issue here is Jaren Kinnick does not own the inside of his gap. He gets pushed out, and he kind of gives it up, to be honest. Luckily, Kip Lewis is there, makes the play. We stop him on the half-yard line. I think they give it to us at the 1. Okay, let's look at the next angle. So we'll check this out again. If he pulls, follow. If he doesn't, fill. I've got to fill here. I got a base. There's no pull. I have to fill. You could even say this is his gap to fill. We're very glad that he came in. Once again, we don't have an alley, a free safety to play alley. So when we start looking at the breakdown, if you want to do the Joe Daniel method, we have force. This has got to be our alley player. Everybody here is going to be spill. Whatever hole they end up in charge of, right? We have to account for these two cats at some point, which leaves you a free hitter here, who's kind of your alley player. Oh, sorry, kidding. There's your alley player on that side. Okay, so we got force and alley. Let's ride. Don't mind Teddy Lehman's drawing on there. So here's what I'm talking about. Jaren doesn't own the inside half of his gap. This is the inside half of his gap. He kind of shuts it down and gets pushed out. Luckily, Kip Lewis comes to the rescue, Let that man be Superman for the day. Shoots the gap. Very simple read. Didn't take a backfield read at all. You could argue they're reading it as well because they are, right? But guards, it holds true. If he pulls, follow. If he doesn't fill, you stop the play. All right, second play. Second and goal from the, once again, I think they actually put it at the 1. Probably could have been the 6 or the half-yard line. Get a pull front side and a cut on the back side. OU gets the stop. Okay. So what do we get? We get a pull. So if he pulls, follow. If he doesn't, fill. So we're going to get a cut block here. We're going to get a pull. All right. So we should see flowing over the top. We should see a fit right now. Same thing. We got force on the outside. We got an alley player. Force on the outside. Got an alley player. Everybody else has got a gap. So we get pretty lucky here. And this is why you squeeze down gaps and blow up pullers, baby. Right here. Okay, the force is able to do his job. Force to change of direction. Alley player becomes the new force because we get a down block and fit. Once again, Jaron lets us down. I realize that Coach Venables is probably not teaching the exact same rules as us, right? So if he pulls, follow. If he doesn't fill, probably doesn't fit here. But I'm just saying that even a high school middle linebacker probably not going to do this. I'm not sure what this is. It's a way to take yourself out of the game. If he does scrape across because he gets that pull, he's here to help shut this down if he tries to cut it back. We already have a cutback player times 3. So he just has to follow the base rules. Now, it all works out okay for us in the end. I was a little worried watching this live, and I was even more worried when I got home and was watching it on replay. They were going to push this across. So the rules hold true. Third play. Okay. 3rd and goal from the 1 yet again. Go back to the shift, and as it turns out, they run the exact same plays they did on the first play. Okay, let's look at a new angle here. Let's follow our guards. Did he pull? No. He's basing, almost like a weird cut. You might call this I don't know what play they're calling it. Oh, it doesn't even keep the annotations. Oh, I know why. I've got them turned off. Look at that. Now I can get rid of them. All bases should be all fill. Force. Got to be careful here with the alley. Should be filling. Fill. Play an alley. Force on the backside. Once again, Jaron lets me down. Come on and fill, big boy. Look, I'm in no position whatsoever to be judging a top-tier collegiate athlete on filling gaps. I'm sure he has been coached for whatever he's doing here. All I'm saying is that Danny Stutzman and Kip Lewis look like absolute superheroes right here. Did he pull? No, we bases so I can come fill. Own the inside half of your gap. Rules hold true. The saying that I heard the other day was your girlfriend lies, but guards don't. I think that's my favorite. I realize some of you are influence trapping. Y'all are doing some fun stuff with your guards to make them lie. Talked to a coach out of Oklahoma, multiple time state championship winner, said that he would just split pull his linemen so they would go opposite directions so that he could run an outside play and get rid of an outside linebacker. That's fine. You're going to get us every once in a while. Okay? Rules are meant to be bent. Once again, do your job. Stay force. Stay alley. If he pulls, follow. If he doesn't, fill. This time we get him for a loss of, I think they gave him like a loss of 2. Yeah. Okay, 1.5. And in the last play, we only get one angle here because it was a change of downs or change of possession. For whatever reason, we didn't get the that weird goal line floating camera version. But we do get to watch Texas suck. Sorry for all you Texas fans. And look, our reads don't change that much. Jaron's late yet again. I'm telling you, man, I accidentally made an anti-Jaron Canick reel here. It was one series, so it's not enough of a sample size to be judging that player. He's an absolute stud, but it was an accident. All right. So the third rule we teach, right? If he pulls, follow. If he doesn't fill, you get high hat, you play the pass. You can teach your outside guys, your force players, to read somebody else if you want to. I'm not going to say that that's good or bad. You know, sometimes we teach them in-man on line of scrimmage. Sometimes we teach them the uncovered player. Problem is right here, there's not any uncovered players. So in-man on line of scrimmage is really a run read, right? That's a crazy cut. If that's my outside guy and I teach him to read that, he should be coming right now because that's a cut, which means they're going to try to run the ball over here, trying to make an edge, something. These guards are obvious hi-hats, though. So if I read them, I get hi-hat. I get to come flying to my job, which is probably helping underneath. This obviously is a man. It means I'm probably going to be running some kind of a zone under this man to help with the short stuff, especially down here on the goal line. And Deshaun Watson, McCullough, sorry. Not Watson. McCullough gets to come out and play this. Follow the ball. He doesn't overcommit to the inside. He's there to make a tackle. Billy Bowman, using all pieces of the uniform, even the back of the helmet. There was no face mask. You can get out of here with that craziness. Okay, to make the stop. And then we're back to the top. So, I said all that to say, guards don't lie. So hopefully you guys are, I see you, Coach Gower. Thank you for jumping in on the chat, buddy. Hey, yeah, he probably was reading quarterback if you're talking about that very last play, which is absolutely okay. Like I said, I don't know their rules here. I'm just stating that if you were reading the guard, it still gets you to the same place. I'm sure he was reading quarterback, like Coach Gower said. Oh, I got a serious question coming in. Maybe. GT counter bash. Coach, we need to sit down and look at that. Because I understand that gives you a read. And that is, where we tell our force player. I'll be honest with you right now. I'm not, I don't know a ton about bash. So let me see if I can pull it up, Coach, and we'll run it real quick. I appreciate the question. It doesn't matter. I think red on here is like somebody's 2x2 stuff. Sure. And I don't know what all the pieces of bash are, Coach. I know that it's a, you call it GT, so we're going to have this going away. And if I remember correctly, right, we get I can undo that. We get the running back running one way, the quarterback meshes, and then he can run the counter. And I know that this is delayed, so I'll wait for your answer to confirm that's what we're getting. If I, just looking at this, if we're talking inside backers, our rules don't change. And maybe on maybe counter bash, it has to that week, which is, why we have to coach week to week. But if we see this, he pulls follow. Okay, so what we teach our guys is essentially you're going to be pushing the first open window when you follow. So if we get it down here, once again, I don't know a lot about bash, so you called it GT counter, and I'm assuming the bash is the stuff in the back. I have seen that drawn up. So we're going to fit the first open window when we pull. Usually ends up being right between the center and the guard for whatever reason. So he fits there. His guard down, so he's fitting. Okay, we got a force, and then we'll have a free safety coming. And this is if you're just playing like a base cover 3. All right, so now he gets to come play alley. This is why we tell this dude he is a CBR, cutback boot reverse. Coach, this right here would be like a 4 front, I would say. He asked for what front we're in, and that's an excellent question. So I don't know how exactly they're going to play that, difference in a 3 front. The GT versus a 4 front is still an animal to be dealt with. Maybe they just read that end. I don't know. Yeah. So this would be like what we'd run to a 4-2-5, coach. I hope y'all are seeing the chat live. He's asking, is this an even 4-4? Once again, I don't know exactly. Just looking at linebacker reads here. Those guys are going to fit and play counter because that's where all the hats are going. So I just have to stay balanced. Even if I'm in a 2-high 3-3 look, okay, and this guy's actually a backer, I realize the letters don't make sense now, okay? But even then, we're doing the same thing. That's the best part about this Joe Daniel system is that the umbrella works, right? We change our force and alley guy here, okay? But beyond that, we still get to fit. We still have stay in coverage players. Now, handling the quarterback becomes this job, right? The CBR, cutback boot reverse. Yes, you can get numbers here, and that's, obviously we're going to have to do some coaching. What if you run it out of trips, right? Now we're all rolled over a guy. I'm still probably going to play him there. Right? I assume that you can run this same play out of trips, and now we look a little bit different. But the idea is we run the bubble. People run their gap, the gap they're responsible for. It's getting a little convoluted here with all this stuff. Okay, so maybe he's our 4th rusher that time. Maybe we go away from trips. Now that we've drawn it up to trips, we can change all this. The point is here, and this last judgment I'll make or adjustment I'll make here. If he's the blitzer, he becomes force. He becomes alley. Point is the umbrella stays the same. Our run fits don't have to change. This guy inserts himself into the umbrella as a spill player. If he pulls, follow. If he doesn't, fill, and you can play just about everything, right? It should hold true. Out here, if he's going to pull on a read in the defensive end, he's got a force player to worry about. If he's reading that force player, I don't know exactly who you read in Bash. Once again, I'm not super comfortable with Bash. I don't know exactly who you generally try to read. I assume it's a concept, it's just an inverted, like a gap read. We're just going to read that end. So here he wouldn't want to pull it. So, that's looking at Bash, but the linebacker reads stay the same. If he pulls, follow, fill the first open window. If he doesn't, fill. Hope that answered your question, Coach Gower. Hey, man, pretty big fan. Would love to get you on podcast sometime, so holler at me, man. The rest of you guys, hope y'all are enjoying Dead Week. Hope you're doing something outside of football. I know I'm still talking football on social media, and that's because I love it, and I just kind of get some off time here. Lots of chores around the house, getting ready for vacation. Hope you have a wonderful 4th of July. Go America? I don't know how to sign this one off. Appreciate you guys. Coach Gower, thanks for jumping in on the chat today. The rest of you guys, feel free to ask questions, man. That's it. Appreciate you guys.